Thanks, I read us too. Give me just a second, Tom.
Yeah, no problem.
I gave you an executive summary at the top, which I'll be reading from, so let's speak. You will follow.
Wait till it hands out before you get started. So we won't distract ourselves.
Okay. Thank you, Representative Welch, Senator Santaviello, and the esteemed members of the Environment and Natural Resources Committee. My name is Lou Kingsbury, and I reside in Pittston. I've submitted 3 separate public comments before you today. Each is a situation where the proposed rules violate Maine statutes. The first set of comments deal with the allowance in the rules to mine certain state public lands. The proposed rules specifically list those public lands where mining is excluded. The rules do not list mining as excluded on non-reserve public lands, lands gifted to the state, lands acquired through referendum, and public reserve lots. The Maine state statutes that control or acquire these lands do not allow mining in their public use provisions. Lands acquired through referendum include all lands acquired under the Lands for Maine's Futures Act, 256,000 acres, and the individual referendum that acquired Bigelow Mountain, 10,500 acres. Franklin County alone, your county, I believe, Senator Santaviello, contains over 34,000 acres of Lands for Maine's future state-owned land, including 6,300 acres on Mount Abram and 10,500 acres on Mount Blue and Tumbledown outside of the Mount Blue State Park. So those would be, under this current rules, mineable. The second set of public comments deal with the use of insurance policies to fulfill mining company financial assurance requirements. This is specifically forbidden by the mining statute, where it states that financial assurance must be provided in a form that cannot be canceled, withdrawn, revoked, or otherwise reduced without the express written consent of the Commissioner of the DEP. As you know, insurance policies can be canceled solely by the issuing insurance company at any time. This was discussed by the BEP board members and the AG's office representative during open BEP meetings. I was surprised to see it that it made it into the rules. The third set of public comments deals with the use of wet mine waste units. This has been a much discussed topic within the committee. Use of perpetual waste ponds violates the mining statute requirement that the mining area and the affected area must be reclaimed, with the goal that the affected area be returned to the ecological conditions that approximate pre-mining conditions to the extent feasible and practical. Use of perpetual waste ponds creating sacrifice zones does not meet this statutory requirement. These 3 examples of the proposed rules that violate Maine statutes point to a need to review the entire rules for statutory compliance. Failure to amend the rules for these 3 instances of known non-compliance with the statutes prior to enactment of LD 146 raises significant ethical and legal issues. Also, during the review of the rules, I found that the Allagash Wilderness Waterway was what I think was inappropriately and not intentionally left off. And these are the rules that just came out. I think Dan sent them out recently.
What does that say for us, man?
Excuse me?
Just keep going. Just answer my question. Keep going. What are you about to tell us?
I just think you made a typo.
Thank you.
I don't think.
And so there are other things that you'd like to share with us, I think, that would be good. Or are you about done?
I'm done.
Oh, okay. I was trying to make sure you had plenty of time, so I was trying to ask a question.
I appreciate that. I don't even think you started the clock.
No, we did. It rang.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to help you out, Dave.
I practiced this.
You did great.
9 seconds. I think you got
You were
that.
right there. I just wanted to make sure that you did. If you had something else.
Mr. Chair, I think you deserve some candy.
I think give a chocolate bar. Any questions?
Just one question would be nice.
I have one, but I want to make sure the rest of the committee. Let me see. I get a cool question for you. This
Yes.
is great. This
Yeah.
is helpful. Because we do have the 1985 law, and I can't remember what chapter it is. 12, that's what it is. It actually, because I've given it to Bob, it actually allows for mining on public land, so a lot of people may not be aware of it. And the only tweaks we did to it is they changed some verbiage through that.
Well, that's not exactly true. The first version of the rules that came out prohibited mining on all lands listed under, just a second, it's enclosure 1,
Okay.
598A. All right, so the rules that, and you can see that on reference A, where under 3D,
Yep.
it says designated lands pursuant to 12 MRS 598A. Right? That line through that was not in the first rules that came out. So the first rules that came out prohibited it on all public lands.
Our rules.
Your rules, these rules, the first issue.
Okay.
Then, as a minor substantive change, it was taken out. That line was added. I think that's a major substantive change and should have been subject to discussion and public hearing.
Okay. Yeah, please.
Is that fair?
Thank you. That's actually one that I just sort of flagged for myself late last night. Title 12 doesn't envision mining under on public lands. It is actually in statute. If we do something, or if the department does something in a rule that nullifies a statute, that's not something that we're going to be able to deal with very easily.
But if you go to the Lands for Maine's Futures statutory requirements, it does not list in there mining as an allowable use. It talks about public use in perpetuity, but it does not list anything as damaging as mining in there as an allowable use.
But it's not excluded either. It's silence off.
You think the
great point.
You think the people that voted for
I
that
understand, but
thought that there was going to be mining on there in the future, or you thought they were going to save the land?
Don't disagree with you, but it's not
sorry.
excluded. I mean, I don't. No, not to be argument. I do not disagree with you. I just think that it needs to have language in there that makes it explicit.
Yeah, I think that's the question that the committee's going to have to deal with is you can't use a rule to nullify a statute. And so we're going to have to make that consistent somehow.
I think you ought to think long and hard, especially about Lands for Maine's Futures lands, about including those in mining, and especially Bigelow Mountain, because I'll tell you right now, Bigelow Mountain is a prime place to mine. It's got a very large volcanic extrusion that runs right up through the middle of it, and that's where you find these minerals. And I don't think the people that voted for Bigelow would like to see that either.
No, we just need to make sure it's clear. Thank you. This is great. Ben, thank you. Any other questions? Thank you. Very good. All right, where are we? We got Lou and Linda Woods, then Brownie Carson, then Matt Muzzy.
Linda Woods is going home.
Okay. Brownie Carson.